Good morning, East Leyden, and welcome back. We hope your school year is off to a strong start. I'm Lisa Ramirez.
And I'm Trevor Tadovich. Together with the rest of the Eagles Eye team, we'll be keeping a watch over East Leyden and bringing you student-driven news in our weekly program, the Eagle Update.
When Assistant Principal Dr. Jorge Sanchez joined the Leyden administration last year, he noticed a need to brighten the hallways.
As I walked around the school, I noticed that there was a lot of great walls. For me, if I were a student in this school, I would want to see something that I could interact with, something that would, make me feel good.
For Sanchez, who has experience in graffiti, the missing something was clear.
The mural scene and being able to paint murals with an institution is paying homage to one hip-hop and traditional muralist who came before me, right? So in the 1920s, muralists really started putting up murals as a way to inform individuals about social unrest and educate individuals about things that were happening politically, right? With hip-hop, one of the four biggest elements is graffiti. And when graffiti is typically done, it also carries a message of social justice.
Motivated by the message of social justice, Sanchez worked with muralists to create 5 new murals around the school, each with its own goal. One of them, painted by Sanchez himself, features a pair of wings that isn't complete until a member of the Leyden community steps into it. Another showcases female empowerment through images of 5 influential women, while one directly above it demonstrates acceptance for all by writing the familiar Leyden phrase, "You matter," in Spanish. The mural above door 6 is a message of pride for the LGBTQ community, as it is written, "Love is love," while a recently painted mural in the 190 hallway encourages students to think and not obey. Moving forward, Sanchez hopes to get more student involvement in the process of making these murals the best that they can be.
This isn't my school. This isn't, Dr. Manolo's school. This is student school. Hopefully the next one we paint, students are actually going to be the ones that are painting it, right? So it'll be from the very beginning, like idea, development of actual mural, and then the painting of. The idea behind these murals is to, they're done for students. So to have students be part of them and have students have agency within the process of creating these murals, that's the goal.
For the Eagle Update, this is Giovanni Soriano.
Thank you for the report, and thank you, Dr. Sanchez, for leading the artistic effort.
Another addition to East Leyden may not be as interesting to look at, but it's expanding student opportunities to learn about renewable energy. Here's that story.
Last week, East Leyden celebrated the installation of its first set of solar panels. These panels were installed outside the auditorium, right by entrance 21 on the ground. Mr. Frank Holthouse, who led the effort to get the panels installed, commented on the panels.
We are funded fully for the project through 2 different grants, the Illinois Clean Energy Foundation as well as Cook County Solar Schools. That pays for the entirety of each project. Each campus is $7,100 for the actual solar panels and inverters, but we expect at least a 10-year life out of these solar panels.
Mr. Holthouse and Mr. Burcham also talked about the process of solar panels converting solar energy into power, as well as circumstances that may affect that process.
The cold won't impact production. In fact, it performs a little bit better when it's just a little bit chilly. However, snow, anything physical, a cloud, snow, rain, those things will interfere with that solar energy reaching our solar panels.
So if one of them is getting shaded, the system will actually maybe even compensate. They use some diodes and fancy electronics that we can actually teach to switch that stuff up.
So we did something called a helioscope process that looks at the position of the sun in the sky, looks at all the things that could potentially interfere with the production of the solar power to ensure that this location was fantastic for producing solar power.
While many may associate solar panels with power, Leyden doesn't really plan on using them for that. It's more of a way to teach students about solar power and its uses.
We do a lot of solar powered with principles of engineering class, even in construction trades, bending pipe, running wires. They can look at the different careers that they can go into. The local electricians, they'll get you excited by talking about how much money they make installing these things. It's a little bit of everything that we can teach with these solar panels.
A student at the celebration also gave her thoughts on the new solar panels.
I want to follow electrical engineering and
and having this renewable energy is so cool. I was actually in a summer camp in IIT, and we were also learning about solar panels and renewable energy. And now that I have one here, I'm like, this is awesome.
For the Eagle Update, this is Kelly Nelson.
We turn now to sports. The football team lost its first home game of the season last week, being outgunned by Proviso West 39-26.
Getting together with friends on a Friday and going to West Leyden to catch the football game has been the norm for many throughout their high school years. But this year there has been a change as games are now in Trident. Athletic Director Mr. Mason explains the reason for this change of location.
Currently, with the construction, we don't have bathroom facilities, we don't have a concession stand, we don't have consistent power to the scoreboard, and the entryway to the stadium is completely torn up, so there's not a way for large numbers of people to get into the stadium.
When you're at West Leyden, it feels like you're at your home. It's a nice, loud, great environment. You know, as a player, when you hear the fans roaring, yelling, cheering for you, you know, that makes you play better. And with losing a bit of that at Triton, that definitely affects the way the players play a bit.
You know, I think that's where our students have really stepped up. You know, last week we had a ton of students show up doing a Hawaiian theme, and it was something that was unplanned by all of us. It was something that students organized themselves. You know, having our cheerleaders, our band, our Leydenettes there made it feel as close to a home game as we possibly could have.
Students also have been impacted from this change of location, and more specifically from the change to Thursday.
The change from Fridays to Thursdays is tough because, you know, I would like to go to a game on a Friday night and be able to do what I want after the game, compared to on a Thursday night, you have school the next day, so you have to still go to bed and get up for school the next day. So that change is pretty tough.
Mr. Mason also has a reason for the games being on Thursday nights.
The reason that we have to play on Thursdays is because of the officials shortage in the state of Illinois. So there are not enough varsity football officiating crews to cover all of the games in this part of the state. So what they've asked a lot of schools to do is to try to find creative ways to make sure that we can have officials. So we've decided that we were going to pilot with trying to play on Thursday nights, so we could make sure that we would be guaranteed to have high quality officials at our varsity home games.
See you at Trident next week. This is Leo Ramirez with the Eagle Update.
Good luck to the football team and to all of our Leyden athletes as the season progresses. If you can't make it to the next home game on September 15, tune into YouTube to catch the live stream with commentary from our own Giovanni Soriano.
That's all the news we have time for today, East Leyden. The Eagle Update will be back soon with even more coverage of events and issues that matter to students.
Until then, remember to check your email for the daily bulletin, which has news on clubs, meetings, tryouts, and other events here at school. This is Lisa Ramirez
And Trevor Tadovich
signing off.